Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the YouTube account and we are going to be checking out the brand new Celestial hero that we're going to be getting. Now overall, the rumor was that it was going to be more real, that it was going to be this hero in an Awakened variation based on what Dolly was saying. Talking about the stars, this was one of the heroes that literally did come from the stars. As you can see from her build, a lot of players were also talking about the possibility of it being her sister, which is Audrey. If it was going to be some compensation or some combination of both heroes, we didn't know. But at this point, it seems through data mine, we are going to check out the new hero. So let's hop over and take a look. All right, guys, so here is Zohra the Stellar Radiance. That's right. It is not another Awakened hero. It is a brand new hero that happens to be the Awakened variation. It is a Celestial and it is a Mage caster, so very interesting. We have some crowd control. We have some continuous damage in here. Let's run through here, and a big shout out to the Fluff Spire for putting this up. This, again, is data mine. There is nothing that we have seen up on the AFK Arena servers as of right now, but it is looking like a very, very cool hero indeed. So the Cosmic Convergence, so strikes all enemies with multiple attacks, dealing X amount of damage of the attack rating, covers the battlefield with an astral dome for so many seconds, grants all heroes Stellar Sanctuary, allies affected by Stellar Sanctuary get damage resistance and buffer. That is really going to be big. Now, and of course, attacks all enemies with multiple attacks. That could be kind of crazy right off of the ultimate ability, doing an incredible amount of damage. When an allied hero takes fatal damage, the Stellar Sanctuary ends early and resists the strike of damage. So there is a cheat death built into the ultimate ability. For the duration of the Astral Dome, Zohra is immune to control effects. Her outgoing damage ignores the enemy's magical resistance, and her magical pierce is converted into insight at a 1-to-1 ratio with so many points converted. Level 2, the Stellar Sanctuary gives more damage resistance and more buffer. Protected hero recovers health equal to so much of the attack rating. When she dies, she covers the battlefield with the Astral Dome for so many seconds, during which Zohra's normal attacks or ultimates are no longer in effect. If there are at least so many enemies affected by Stellar Mass, which we'll have to look at that in just a minute, near the Astral Vortex before the Astral Dome ends, its duration will be increased. So even if she dies, we're still going to have that Astral Dome that is going to be up. So the Stellar Surge, she applies a Stellar Mass to the enemies furthest away from her. The Stellar Mass reduces the enemy's movement speed, so they're going to be kind of stuck, and the effect is enchanted the farther the enemy is for a maximum movement speed reduction of so many. So kind of similar to what we did see with Moriel, how she did have that movement piece in there. Might be something interesting to really focus on. Prioritizing target enemies that are not currently affected by a Stellar Mass, stacking the effect will cause the enemy to take more damage. So this, of course, SI 2, 3, and 4, which is, 10 or 0, 10, 20. So this is the plus 40 signature item in here. So stacking this up, it looks like it is going to do more damage, increasing the damage. When multiple Stellar Masses are stacked, the enemy will be stunned. There's the crowd control piece that we are looking for. Enemies affected by Stellar Mass deals so much less damage. Damage reduction effect is enchanted the closer the enemy is to the vortex. Enemies affected by Stellar Mass take more damage. That is going to be huge at a plus 30 signature item. And the final one in there applies an extra Stellar Mass to so many enemies near Zohra. So interesting so far with the skills and abilities. The Eternal Vortex at the start of battle generates an Astral Vortex in the center of the battlefield that continuously pulls enemies to it. Again, that's Moriel's ability. The pull is stronger against enemies affected by Stellar Mass. Enemies near the vortex take so much damage every second, which pretty interesting. Also remember that bosses don't move, so that might be interesting as well. Then we have the 3 of 9 and the 9 of 9 furniture. For every point of insight she has of the enemies, the Astral Vortex will pull the enemy stronger for a maximum increase. So if you're stacking insight on this hero, which I know we had the conversion earlier, going into insight is going to do crowd control faster. When there are at least so many Stellar Mass near the vortex, a strike-wide AoE damage. So she's going to group everyone up, AoE them down, which is going to be cool. This effect can be triggered so many times every so many seconds. Zohra deals so much more damage to so many enemies near the Astral Vortex. When an enemy leaves the vicinity, a Stellar Mass will be applied. So if they get out of the vortex, it is going to go ahead and do a do that stellar mass on them. And then astral insight. So the passive ability rains down meteors on the enemies. That's Audrey's ability. Affected by stellar mass, dealing so much damage of the attack rating to enemies and nearby targets. So that is going to have an AoE factor, plus 30, plus 60 engraving. For every so many seconds, Zohra corrects the position of the stellar mass in the battlefield, pulling enemies affected by stellar mass closer to the vortex. And then the AoE of meteors increase the farther the enemy is from Zohra. So if you put her in the back line, it's going to be doing a lot more AoE damage, increasing the maximum of Zohra's attack rating. If the enemy is affected by a control effect or force displacement, an extra meteor will fall on the enemy. This hero could do a lot of damage, guys. And then there is, of course, the Awakened skill. All allied heroes gain so much points of insight, which we know her damage is going to be based on that insight. At the start of battle, Zohra and the allies with the highest attack rating and the ally with the highest max health will get Stellar Sanctuary for so many seconds. For every so many points of insight higher than the enemies, the ally deals more damage. Wow, that would really make a big difference in Cursed Realm Nightmare Corridor, where they usually don't have any at all. So if the enemy is sitting at 0 insight, you could really boost the damage crazy, depending on how high the insight is of this hero. Now PvP, it's a whole different world, but overall that is going to be the next Awakened hero that we're seeing. Saving your cards, saving your resources seems like it's going to be pretty strong overall. We're gonna have to see. Now thinking of it, now I know they did Gavis and they did Eugene around this time frame last year, so I don't know if there's going to be another Awakened hero that is going to be coming very similar to what they did, or if they're just going to go back to kind of the regular staple of just doing one and then waiting that 60-day, 2-month period and then doing another. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.